Welcome, everybody. It's Plastic Profiles.
Man, those
We
drops
have
get me every time.
we have in the house Mike Irizarry from What's on Joe Mind.
Ah,
I am Agent Chuckles, and with me down below in the center
Me.
square is Steve.
that gets his own row, man. That's kind of an improvement.
yeah.
Steve's like, we need guests on all the time.
It's the one little nugget kernel I give him. Everything else is me picking on him. And he gets a row.
You could have just not have said that though. You need to live in the illusion, man. I didn't want to peek behind the curtain.
The slides start in a minute, and then those references start popping up, and we all know who's going to have to guess what those references are from.
Oh, you jerk!
So this is Plastic Profiles. What we do here is we review a classic G.I. Joe file card and its corresponding classic G.I. Joe figure. See the hands figure, and then we look at the retro or classified and or figure and determine which of those figures best represents the character depicted in the file card. And then today there's a reason Mr. Irizarry is here with us today, because it's Beachhead-a-Palooza.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, you got little Staff Sergeant C-Nuggs in there.
I can't do a Beachhead. Yeah, we gotta have Staff Sergeant in there. And so we're gonna talk about Beachhead and his incarnations here and determine which Beachhead is most like the Beachhead in that file card. And then once that's done, and wait, there's more.
Ooh.
We are gonna cast him in a movie in casting call.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. So let's get into this. Let's do it. Let's do it.
There's an irony to that, because I tell you what, way back in the day when everything was bulletin boards, the only threads I would never take a part of were fantasy casting threads.
No, oh yeah.
I used to just not do them, because invariably it's people bickering about one another for stuff that isn't really connected to even your hobby.
Yeah.
It's just
friendships deteriorating because he's too short to play Wolverine.
Right, because Gray Park is only 5'10", damn it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, sure thing. So that was the one thing I never used to do, and now, ironically enough, here we are doing it today. In live, living color.
Yeah. Oh, that's progress.
Yeah. But we if it helps, we do have a little asterisk here. There is a rule that they have to be from the home birthplace of the character, so it isn't like you're just picking broadly.
I have worthy candidates for you. I did the homework.
Great. I'm glad I could give you homework.
I do not show up unprepared.
All right,
Mike. You're making me
you see that, Steve?
You're making me.
Look, man, I'm a 13-year veteran.
That's right.
I have to do that.
Right.
I have a reputation to uphold.
That's right. What's on Joe Mind entering its 14th season? Congratulations! Awesome praise.
I don't know about 14th season, but 14th year definitely, because we had a year
shaped.
Yeah, we had a year in there where we did one episode, so it's not like it's just been equal.
There was a writer's strike. It's a writer's strike.
Yeah, the word hiatus is a dirty thing when you're a news show about toys.
Yeah.
So it got a little rough there for a while.
All right. Well,
where you at now? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So Beachhead came out in 1986. I don't know if you know that.
I'm something of an expert on procuring these figures. So yes.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh. Codename Beachhead. He's a Ranger. File name Sneeden. Wayne R. Primary military specialty infantry. Secondary military specialty small arms armorer. Birthplace Auburn.
It's a moorer. He's a lover.
Yes, he is a lover and a fighter.
That's right.
Birthplace Auburn, Alabama. Grade E6. Beachhead was a lane instructor at the Ranger School in Fort Benning and an observer advisor at the Covert Ops School in Central America. He's meticulous, patient, and strong-willed. He likes getting up at 0600 hours to take a 10-mile run and PT, physical training, session before breakfast. He enjoys squatting, motionless beside a jungle trail for 3 days straight, waiting to ambush bad guys that might never show up. What he hates is people who aren't interested in doing their best. Qualified expert, all NATO and Warsaw packed small arms. Now here's our quote. Most folks will get mad on occasion, or at least get irritable. Not Beachhead. He thinks anger is a waste of time and energy. Rage clouds the vision and pollutes logic. Fury impairs judgment and makes you careless. The results of anger are totally unacceptable to Beachhead. He doesn't get angry. He gets even. Yes.
One of the great quotes on these file cards right there.
Yep. And, you know, this one doesn't have a lot of military stuff in it, which is, you know, I've said before, we're the show that sweats the small things. So it makes it a little more difficult, but you get a full personality profile here on who this guy is.
Right.
He is Major Dad. He is all those military stereotypes, you know, all of them rolled into one, you know. Yeah, and that's what makes him awesome. So I'm talking slow because I forgot my jingle for 3D Joe's. Oh, no, I got a perfect one. Okay, so all classic images of Beachhead, the file card, and the packaging and the figures are brought to us by 3D Joe's. And now I will sing the 3D Joe's theme song in honor of our guest, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D Joe's, 3D
.com.
Yes. All right. So, anybody have anything they want to say about that? Are we ready to go to the next one?
I mean, just again, it's a great file card. I know that the part of the homework assignment is to determine what version of the figure has the most to do with the file card. But I always, you know, I thought it was interesting once I looked at it again that I realized that the design of the figure itself has nothing to do with this file card.
Not a thing. Not
absolutely zero.
Yeah.
So it does kind of blow open that whole back half of the assignment, so to speak.
Yeah.
The homework got a lot more open-ended because of this one.
Yeah. And sometimes that's better. Sometimes that's better.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
It doesn't set you up for disappointment.
Let's see. Raspberry Beret. Steve the Writing Dad. What's Raspberry Beret?
I don't know, man.
Really? This?
Steve, how old are you, Steve?
I am 43.
You have no excuse to not know this.
Right. Oh, all right.
One of the great Prince songs.
The kind you buy in a secondhand store. Raspberry Beret.
Oh God.
Who is it?
I know it now because Mike said it. Like, so I'm gonna say Prince.
All right. I was singing over that, I guess.
I was admonishing him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's all right.
That's okay.
I mean, sure, you were 2 years old when it came out, but it's been ubiquitous ever since then. Like, they never stopped playing Prince from 1984. It has never gone away. How could you not know what Raspberry Beret is, man? Come on.
Fairness, I think this is closer to 87, 88. I don't think this is off of Purple Rain.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Pretty sure.
Look, you may be right on that, but regardless, my point remains. 80s Prince has never gone away.
That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Listen, I didn't listen to Prince until much later on in life, man. Seriously, me growing up, we didn't listen to that. It was, you grew up in the Bronx, man. You listened to either hip hop or Spanish music. That was it. Like, that was it. It wasn't until later that I was like, oh, okay, there's different channels on the radio.
Fair enough. I grew up on Long Island, Steve, so I know where you're coming from with some of that. I got you there. There's hip hop is different for me than it is for most people too, simply because it's been there as long as I can remember. Yes. You know, so for a lot of folks, it didn't come along till the 90s, and I'm like, hey, not so fast, whippersnapper. They tried to make me dance on broken down cardboard. It didn't work so well. It didn't work out at all. But
you were not a b-boy.
well, I mean, it wasn't that I didn't like it, man, but you can't get the worm out of this guy. It just doesn't work out, right? It's just more like we hit the ground and then we just try to count the broken bones. There's no rise up again. It's just
this is
ow. That's how it went for us kids out on the island, man. Yeah, I've always been a ground-based individual.
Ground-based. Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, I called this slide Raspberry Beret because all these beachheads come with some manner or version of a red beret.
Okay.
So, maroon beret. What is this maroon beret all about? So, in 1943, General Frederick Browning, commander of the British 1st Airborne Corps, granted the U.S. Army's 509th Parachute Infantry Battalion honorary membership in the British Parachute Regiment and authorized them to wear British-style maroon berets. During the Vietnam War, U.S. military advisors to Vietnamese airborne units often wore the Vietnamese French-style red beret, with the Department of the Army policy in 1973 permitting local commanders to encourage morale-enhancing distinctions, basically a pizza party for your clothes. Airborne forces began to wear the maroon beret as their mark of distinction. So this permission was rescinded in 1979 when the Army Chief of Staff General Edwin C. Meyer required all units to adhere to the uniform regulation. On 28 November 1980, updated uniform regulations authorized airborne parachute units to resume wearing the maroon beret. So it's an airborne thing. So airborne units wear the red beret.
Right.
So it kind of goes a little bit against what I propose as Beachhead's, what he's really up to, what with his patch and everything like that. But that's probably where it's from, because Rangers wear a different beret. They wear tan. They wear the khaki beret.
But I could also see Beachhead being as the guy who they sent in to train the best of the best.
Right.
At one point in his life, maybe he was airborne.
Sure. Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. Next. So then we got the kind you buy in a secondhand store. Yeah, you get it now. So so this is about Rangers. So Rangers until 2001 wore a black beret, but that's when the Army said, hey, everybody gets a beret. And so kind of cheesed off everybody. So then they went to the tan beret as worn there by NFL and American hero, Pat Tillman. And that's what currently is worn by the 75th Rangers, which is who I propose that Beachhead was a part of at Fort Benning, which is now Fort. God, I forgot the name of that. They changed all those forts' names, all in the G.I. Joe file cards. All have different names because of modern things that statues and whatnot.
Right.
We don't need to go into that, but and if it were warm, she wouldn't wear much more. All right. Yeah. So I've only got.
Thought it would it?
I've only got 12 more slides on berets, so just hang in there. No, I don't. So the 75th Ranger Regiment is a lethal, agile, and flexible force capable of conducting many complex joint special operation missions. Today's Ranger Regiment is the Army's premier direct action raid force. Each of the 4 geographically dispersed Ranger battalions is always combat ready, mentally and physically tough, and prepared to fight our country's adversaries. Their capabilities include conducting airborne and air assault operations, seizing key terrain such as airfields, destroying strategic facilities.
Hold on. Pause.
Yeah.
Why'd you stop the accent, man? You were doing a great voice, and then it's like, yo, you just phased out. You didn't realize you were doing. Yeah. You went normal guy.
Army run, and then, all right, hold on. I ran out of go-go juice. Hold on.
It just faded back out.
He's got to take a sip off of the old trucker bomb.
Oh, something
racing.
All right. I'm a Harlan Williams. Their capabilities include conducting airborne and air. Did I already read that? Yeah, I read that. Rangers are capable of conducting squad through regiment. Rangers capable of conducting squad through regimental size operations and are resourced to maintain less words next time. Use less words. Resource to maintain exceptional proficiency, experience, and readiness. The Ranger remains an all-volunteer force with an intensive screening and selection process, followed by combat-focused training. The 75th Ranger Regiment is a proud unit and a team of teams serving the nation.
Good right English, y'all.
Yeah. So, they have four regiments around the country. I propose that Beachhead is since we mentioned Fort Benning in the file card, he's part of the 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment in Fort Benning, Georgia, which is now Fort... I should remember this. So many people have been at Fort Benning. Oh, okay. All right. This is going to kill me if I keep doing this. Hold on. Fort Benning.
So, Steve, have you
Fort
thought about
Moore.
maybe thought about picking up the writing on this venture?
Fort Moore. Fort Benning is now Fort Moore.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, and if I was really thinking about it, I could have put she wouldn't wear much more with 2 O's for Fort Moore.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why you didn't just put parentheses Fort Moore at Come on, man. Economy.
Yeah.
Economy. Genius and yet so simple.
Yeah. So the graphic I have there is the beret flash that a member of the 75th Rangers would be wearing on their berets.
See, Steve, I do this on a lot of shows. I just show up and start making fun of the main host.
Yeah.
So
this is where Steve gets his.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on this one.
Yes.
I'm going to pull you through this one, Steve.
Thank you.
All right. So here's some interesting things to me that I found out. So 3rd Ranger Battalion. Following Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada, the Department of Army ordered the activation of 3rd Battalion. In April 1984, a small cadre arrived at Fort Benning to begin the selection process. So I theorized that Beachhead was somehow part of that. Rangers from all over the world were interviewed, selected, and moved to Fort Benning on October 3, 84 at York Field, Fort Benning, now Fort Moore. The Secretary of the Army, the Honorable John Omar.
Don't try and save yourself now.
Everybody knows it's Fort Moore. Everybody knows. So anyways, that's when the 3rd Regiment or 3rd Ranger Battalion was started. Now, one cool thing is the 3rd Rangers was the group that was in Black Hawk Down. That was the 3rd Rangers in Somalia. And actually some of them went back in 2001 to Morocco to help set up that movie where they were shooting it. So
yeah, great movie.
Kind of a cool way to bring down the mood of the show is to talk about Black Hawk Down.
Right.
Yeah. But amazing movie. So third Rangers were part of that. And if you're curious, the Rangers in Private Ryan were 2nd Rangers.
Second. Number 2.
So, Steve,
Yo.
I want to be an airborne ranger. Who sings it? There's a tip. It's pictured down below. What movie is that?
That's The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had that in the Bronx, but only with a hip hop soundtrack.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. This is yeah, The Breakfast Club.
Yep. Very good.
And I got one.
So we've gone through the Ranger training course a lot in our previous episodes, so I'm going to try to skim through this without having to read every single word. But basically, it was the idea of the Ranger course was conceived during the Korean War, known as Ranger Training Command. It was inactivated, became the Ranger Department. Let's see. It is emphasis placed on development of individual combat skills and abilities through the application of principle of leadership, while further developing military skills and planning and conduct of dismounted infantry, airborne, airmobile, amphibious, etc., etc. So then the graduates go back and then they teach everybody else how to kind of be a ranger. That's that. There's several phases to this. It used to be an 8-week course. Now it's 61 days. basically there's 3 phases. There's the work you do at Fort Benning, Fort Moore. There's the mountain stuff, and then you go to Florida. So you play it in the woods, then you go play in the mountains, and then you go play in the muck and the swamps. And you at home can pause and read this if you like, but it's the same stuff that I put in every Ranger. Look at Stalker, and Flint has everybody's, because all the training he's done. So you can check it out there. We'll move on. Here's the good stuff, the toys. So, again, 1986, Beachhead packaging with the classic art on the front. Mike, you might know better than me. So, I don't know who. I know that Hector Garrido didn't do all the art for the classic packaging. Is there an easy way to tell who does what, or do you just have to know their style? Or
I think it was more that Hector Garrido, by the time the 90s rolled around, they were farming that out to less expensive sources than Hector Garrido. So they started handling it in-house more as you get into 90, 91.
Okay.
So anything up to 88, 89, you can be pretty confident it's going to be a Hector Garrido painting.
All right. And then they
rule of thumb. I think there's some exceptions that apply, but
then they deked them. They went cheap. Yeah. All right. Cool. So there we have the digital explosion in the background. 1986, of course, being the first year of the digital explosion. Super cool. Awesome.
And that 3D logo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't talk about the logo much, but yeah, it pops. It's popping.
It's the first year for that too.
Very good. So then the breakdown. His accessories. He has his submachine gun. He has what I assume everybody universally accepts as being the beret tucked into his I don't know, what do you call that flap?
The shoulder strap. It's got a name, but I forget what it's not important.
Lapel? Not lapel, no. Into that thing.
Yes.
And that's molded in. Then he's got a backpack with molded crossbow. There's bolts. And that thing on the side is a grappling hook. Yes, that's what it looks like to me. But because there's rope around the bottom. So I call it a grappling hook, but probably kids use it as a missile or something. I don't know. He's got a pistol molded to his thigh. He's got 2 knives, one molded on the thigh and one molded on the lower leg. He's got his ammunition satchel. He's got ammunition molded on his chest there. He does have an explosive just hanging around on his lower leg, and then he's got a grenade molded on his waist. So he is well armored. So that tampo, that patch, is actually the 75th Infantry patch, and it's a pretty faithful rendition of it. But of course, that was no longer a thing when he was in the military. So I know some of the Joe designers were military enthusiasts and things like that. And so those are kind of cool little things to look for. But that's the 75th Infantry. There is a 75th Rangers, but that's not what they use. That's 75th Infantry.
So I after a real quick search, I discovered the shoulder loops on military uniforms are often called shoulder loops.
Shoulder loops.
Right. The fancy term, which is not quite as common, is epaulets.
Epaulets. That was actually the word I was aiming for, but I did
shoulder loops. Shoulder loops is actually correct.
Oh, shoulder loops.
It is. They are correct.
Going forward in my mind anyway, because I'm not going to remember epaulets. Like, I'm not going to think like, oh, that's a great epaulet he has right there. I like this shirt because of the epaulets it has on.
Yeah, no, shoulder loops.
Yeah, that's
more shirts need epaulets. All right, so that's the classic Beachhead. Then we get into the classified and the retro. So the first appearance of Beachhead in the classified line was part of the Cobra Island. Boy, finding that art was difficult. I emailed her, I did everything, and then I just saw it somewhere. Oh, yeah, apparently I found it on his tank. But yeah, so the art on the classified box is by Ashley Witter. I Instagram at Ashley M. Witter, or her website is ashleywitter.com. But very cool. She doesn't do a lot of military science fiction-y stuff, as you might imagine, but she does a lot of cool. I wouldn't say it's Eastern inspired, but it's, there's a lot of manga type characters and things like that.
Okay.
But she's got a cool style, and I super dig that art. I would buy that poster, but they make the ones that I don't want as posters, as a rule. It seems.
I mean, she acquitted herself well there, despite having to draw the Nerf gun.
That's right. That's right. You know, even that gun looks kind of cool. The way the way he's brandishing it like that. You know, like man, that's kind of cool.
The blue pops.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It's like he's charging it, ready to when he lets go of the trigger, it's gonna. You know.
How's that again? All right. One more time. All right. I think I got it now.
So that's the Cobra Island classified. Yeah. Suck it, Steve. Classified. That's the Cobra Island beachhead. And then recently they've well, nope, I'm not there yet. We got a breakdown of what comes with him. I've done this show before,
right?
So
you only prepared the slides. That's fine.
Yeah, I only did all this. So his accessories are his beret, which is removable. He comes with a pistol. He comes with a knife. He comes with his crossbow that you can hook onto his backpack. He's his main weapon thing, the Dustbuster, and then he's got his backpack with bolts. And then they made it look more like a missile, but I still think it's supposed to have been a grappling hook. But
absolutely,
the grappling
hook.
The crossbow does hook in the back, and then he does have a Joe Pro there. And if you look on his beret, the flash on his beret is actually kind of a cross between the 75th Ranger logos. So you've got the bolt like in that particular shield there, and then the flash has that stripe going from horizontal like that. So so I don't know where the line is of what they can use of actual Department of Defense logos and things. Like every time I think, oh, they can't really use that, then Duke will come out and he's got full-fledged jump wings on. So I don't know.
I have a feeling that some of those have slid into the public domain like anything else does. Like some of those logos and some of those symbols have just been in use for so long.
Right.
They have no more legal footing on, but these are probably not in that category.
Very good.
Just again, total pull out of the air kind of guess, but just knowing the way that sort of thing works.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's a good guess. It's a good guess, I guess.
That means Beachhead with Steamboat Willie confirmed.
Or Duke is Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Whereas Beachhead is more like those Mickey Mouse cartoons that came out in the 40s that always put people to sleep. Wait, who am I making fun of at that? I think Mickey Mouse. I'm not sure.
I don't know. The Goofy, when he gets behind the wheel, he becomes Mr. Walker and Mr. Driver, and then he wants to run over all the pedestrians.
Goofy cartoons from the 40s and 50s are the greatest, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Goofy and Donald had
Mr. Wheeler, Mr. Wheeler, Mr. Wheeler, and Mr. Walker. Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Mickey's a chump.
We once got a Disney watch for subscribing to the Disney Channel.
Mickey Mouse, the old one on the steamboat, and he's whistling now.
Something fell and broke.
Yeah, I knocked over my mutant. My mutant.
Ooh.
In his slacks, his sensible slacks.
Well, I mean, of course. He's gonna have a brain too big to be enclosed in a skull. He's gonna be smart enough to find sensible slacks.
The rails are magnetized, and if your hands were metal, that would mean something. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Back on track. Sort of. So that's Beachhead from the Cobra Island. So now, yes, here we are, the classified Beachhead. I actually kind of like this art. The artwork is, in my opinion, has kind of been hit and miss as far as is it a decent looking human figure or not. But I like this Beachhead quite a bit. Of course, it's pretty much exactly inspired by the original Beachhead packaging, but it's pretty cool.
Right. It's maybe a half turn more towards what you'd see in a comic book.
Right.
As opposed to what you'd see in a more realistic type painting. But that's fine. We're dealing with essentially a comic book character here.
That's right. It's the perfect time to do comic-y type art, because that's most often than not comics or cartoons what you're basing these characters off of here. And I don't know who does any of this artwork, so but if you know, put it in the comments down below. But no one's ever done that.
Yeah.
Do it now. Be the first. I'll talk about you on my show.
He sounded so sad, but no one's ever done that.
No one's ever done that.
Look, getting actual correspondence going in the comments is the biggest pain in the butt possible doing a YouTube show. It is the absolute worst. We have over 1,400 subscribers, and we might have 6 comments after a weekly show where we do 2 hours plus of material. So nobody's got something to say through that whole thing. You're putting me on. You're all lazy.
Yeah.
Down below, say something, even if it's dumb.
Yeah.
Listen to Mike.
Promo SM. Just put something. I don't know.
Just don't be a butthole, and it'll be okay. We're not going to laugh at you. We won't make fun.
They're not going to laugh at you.
I will make fun of James.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'll take it. I can take it.
And Steve if he crosses me, but he hasn't done that yet.
No, he won't.
He's from the Bronx. I'm not going to run clear. I'm maintain a respectful distance.
So the classified retro beachhead breakdown. He comes with a submachine gun in green with a magazine in gray. He comes with a pistol. He comes with a suppressor. Comes with his crossbow. He comes with a detonation pack, which he certainly would know how to use, but it's not exactly like what it's supposed to be. It's a bag, and I guess in that terms, it's similar to what he came with, but it's not the same thing. It's got 2 knives. He's got his, I didn't correct this here, the 75th Infantry patch, which is not the Ranger patch, but, and then he's got 2 grenades, which look to me to be flashbangs. I put a little picture of a flashbang there in the corner, and then he's got extra ammo molded on his chest. Yeah. So, that being said, gentlemen, who would you put on the back of your bike riding down to Old Man Johnson's farm? That's from Raspberry Beret.
Is that a euphemism? Oh wait, it's from a Prince song. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's from Raspberry Beret. Yeah,
it's absolutely from a Prince song. Absolutely a euphemism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go with Steven the Writing Dad. I'm curious where he's going to go with this, because normally he's 100% classified, but now we have 2 classified. So I'm curious where he's going to go with this. Which beachhead is more beachhead, Steve?
I'll say I like both figures. They're both great. I'm gonna
You're already discounting the classic. Nice.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. This man here has 150 of those. Okay. Just go ahead and diss that figure.
Like, bro. We like what we like. Like
he's allowed. It's fine.
I like Cobra Island.
He can get his own show for that.
If Steve wants to go out and pick up all the classified beachheads, that means he's not picking up all of the vintage beachheads.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We can all enjoy this.
All right. Who you got, Steve?
Cobra Island.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, Cobra Island does it. I do like the classified version of Beachhead. You know, it's a very well-made figure. I think it's pretty cool. I don't understand the lime green gun so much. You know,
nobody does.
Don't get me started.
But there we go. The Cobra Island one, man, he just looks more fierce. You know, he looks like he's ready to go. You know, he's not a cartoon character. He just looks more real. And that's where I would go with that.
Okay.
All right. Mike, who you got?
I think Steve makes a good point there. The color palette on the Cobra Island beachhead is probably the best one in regards to looking like an actual military guy. Now, that said, I think the design of the Cobra Island beachhead is the most boring.
Okay.
That the plain vest or the brown and black vest kind of loses something as opposed to there's just no color breakup in there. And of course, the green weapons are just they're awful.
Yes.
The upcoming what's it called? Retro collection Beachhead would be an improvement, but honestly, and this has been my gripe with the retro collection, this wave that's coming.
Right.
The Beachhead, Cobra Eel, and Snow Serpent wave. On the heels of Duke, Scarlet, and Recondo, who are all knockout figures. Those are
amazing line.
That is an amazing wave. All three of those are worth your time. You should go pick all of them up.
Yeah.
They got them all right. And if you're going to do a vintage retro style line of figures, that's what those are. They have everything that you need, and then they throw some extras on top of it if they want to.
That's right.
These next three, Beachhead being one of, don't give you everything that you had the last time.
Mm-hmm.
They are not reliving the retroness of it.
Right.
The green guns, first off, again, whose idea was that? All you had to do was make a gray gun the same color as the ammo clip. That was all you had to do. That is an amazing fail on a detail.
Yeah.
And then the explosives pack in place of the ammo pack actually makes more sense in regard. If you think of what Beachhead would be doing, he would be more likely to need an explosives pack than an ammo pack, considering he's already got ammo going across his chest.
Right.
But if you're going to do a retro figure, then do a retro figure. Don't give him a part that was already molded from Snake Eyes last year.
Right.
Make the ammo pack, right?
Right.
It's not a real complicated piece to reproduce. So from that aspect, the retroness of the retro figure, and again, I'm gonna wind up with two of them. I'm gonna have one for loose and one on the card. Great.
Yeah.
But it leaves me a little cold, and so I can't move away from this dude. They got him right the first time, and they have not reproduced this yet. They have not gotten to that bar of quality yet. And there's a number of dudes from the old vintage line that are like that. And Beachhead is in that squad.
Yeah.
And it's 156.
156, right. Yeah, I
I have a problem.
Yeah.
A beach party problem.
It is Beach Party 86. That is what it's called.
So for me, yeah, I normally am the classic honk, I guess. Steve always touts his progressiveness while he's shoving my age in my face. And so I am of a similar mind. I would say the retro figure is great as it could have been. It just isn't there, so I'm excluding that right away. The Cobra Island one, that gun is just hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah.
The design of it, the greenness of it.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't the green that matched his clothes, like even that, just if it was a little different, maybe it would make some sense. But
yeah,
it matches his shirt, and you just shouldn't have a gun that matches your shirt.
Yeah.
He's accessorizing.
I don't even mind the shin pads, and normally I really dislike the shin guards, but yeah. So I'm going classic Beachhead. Classic Beachhead to me is the ultimate Beachhead. That's my take.
You've redeemed yourself after the Mutt episode. I don't know what you guys are smoking. The new Mutt is fantastic.
Why didn't I pick that Mutt?
As much as I love classic Mutt, are you kidding me with the new Mutt? It's insane.
Yeah. No,
but anyways,
well, that's something I try to make clear too, is that I love all these figures and they're all great. The worst classified figure, Falcon, is okay. That's a bad example. The second worst classified figure is still a top-notch figure.
Look, there really isn't a whole lot wrong with Falcon either. It
really isn't. He just looks odd.
He's just got a weird face.
So
it's just the one thing you have to look at, so it keeps drawing to it. But
yeah. But it feels like it follows you.
It's still
the stink does. That's
like if that's the worst figure of the line, then this line is a freaking banger.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
some lines get put out there and they never get a figure as good as that Falcon. So, so forget about it. If that's the worst one, yeah, we have such first world problems.
yeah. All right, Steve. All right, he's not going to be here next episode,
or maybe I will. Stay tuned and find out.
Oh gosh, this is so
all right. Well, next is it's time to get the kids, the women and children out. This is their favorite. This is their time to watch. Everybody bring them in. It's time for casting call.
Guys, all right, it's coming.
Casting call.
Now, I take some offense to that because you have to understand that I bring the ladies.
Oh, they're already here? Is that?
I know there's at least 2 that watch What's on Joe Mind regularly that I'm not related to or dating. So let's just throw that out there too. Okay? I have no connection to these women and they watch anyway. So at least 2, which may make us at the top of the YouTube G.I. Joe demographic for that particular category.
Probably, yeah. So this is casting call. This is where we cast an actor.
I like how you guys had no reaction to that.
No,
oh well, he's right. When he's right, he's right.
Yeah,
this is. I'm like, all right, cool.
Who might argue?
That's so awesome.
Yes, sir.
Steve's down there smoothing out the eyebrows. Oh my God, I had to look good today.
Yeah. You know he's looking in the mirror every day. Skinny Momoa is right.
Oh God! Oh, that's hilarious. Oh.
What would I look like doing one of those haka dances?
What if I did that though? I'm imagining like my kids running in on me like, "Oh, wait, what are you doing?"
It's a traditional dance. We don't have that. We do now.
Well, in the Bronx, you'd be doing the worm.
Oh my God. Oh.
So, anyway, casting call. So, what we do in casting call is we cast an actor or actress that is from the home location, state, birthplace, town, zip code, whatever we got of the character that we're looking at. So today we're looking at Beachhead. He's from Alabama. And so we're trying to figure out who's from there. Now, maybe we don't use the rule. Maybe we do. Because what are we, Steve?
We're rebels.
That's right. We're rebels. So sometimes we have the rule. Sometimes we don't. But today we'll let our guest go first. Mike, who do you have as Beachhead?
All right. So I've got an honorable mention because he's simply... At this point, he's too old to be Beachhead, but he is. All things being equal, if we were casting this movie 15 years ago, he is the favorite in the clubhouse, head and shoulders above the competition. One of my favorite actors, period, happens to be from Birmingham, Alabama. Walton Goggins would be Beachhead.
Oh yeah, Walton Goggins. All right.
Currently in the Fallout series. Best known perhaps for Justified and the Unicorn and Vice Principals and shows like that. He just a great actor.
Major League 2.
Major League 2 was in G.I. Joe Retaliation as the Warden, so he's got some G.I. Joe connection already.
Yeah,
but that would be the guy right there. But he's at this point he's like 55 years old, and that's a little too old to play Beachhead. So instead we turned to the confines of Decatur, Alabama. And we cast Lucas Black.
Oh, okay.
Who his biggest role was when he was a kid. He was the kid from Sling Blade back in the 90s.
Oh yeah. But, I remember him.
But since then, he's done NCIS New Orleans. He did Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift.
That's the one I saw.
Right, came back from a couple other ones. So he's got that action movie. And he's got that military type role experience. Yeah. And he meets the role of being from Alabama. So or right there. Easy cast.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Now, for the record, when anytime I am ill with a stomach ailment and I find myself using the restroom for the third time in a day, it is referred to as the Tokyo Drift. after the third installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. That's what that is. So believe me, the Fast and Furious, that is the in a string of, we'll call them less than plausible films, it's the worst one, right?
I agree. Yes.
Like the Fast and Furious franchise doesn't bother me. I kind of enjoy it for the cheesy fun that it is.
Yeah.
But Tokyo Drift is rough.
Yes. And
so, anytime I'm sick for the third time in a day, it is the Tokyo Drift, and you may use that yourselves in your. I
actually have my own. I call mine Any Which Way But Loose.
Oh, come on now. That's Clint Eastwood and a monkey. Come on now. Come on now.
For some reason, that was the only movie that popped in my head. I couldn't think of anything else.
Let's show some respect. That's Clint Eastwood and a monkey.
Oh, I call mine Captain EO. How about that?
No.
It's shut down.
Man, how many movies make millions of dollars when they're only shown at Epcot Center? Maybe Captain EO's not your cup of tea, man, but people loved Captain EO for 12 years. They showed that movie in one place. They spent $2 million on it, and it made money. So
all right.
EO,
all right. Ishtar. I call it Ishtar.
All right. I mean, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just sounds like you're trying to come up with one better than Tokyo Drift and failing miserably.
No, it's true. Tokyo Drift is pretty awesome.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So, Steve, who do you have? Who do you got?
Yeah, I have Walter Goggins, man.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Right there. Yeah. I stole it. I saw Steve's notes before the show and I stole it.
When you said it, I was like, "Oh man, that's the guy!" Oh man! All right.
Now we gotta beat me out.
All right. So I actually have two as well. No, do I? Oh, I don't know. I only did this slide. So it'll be a surprise to me who is actually next on this next slide here. Ah, yeah, this is my pick. Michael Biehn. I can never remember how to say his name, but Aliens, Abyss, Terminator, The Rock. He should have been in G.I. Joe. And I think he was just born in Alabama. I don't think he actually spent a lot of time there, but it counts. I'm counting it. All right. And all those franchises. And then he was in Star Wars, The Mandalorian. So he's added that now too. So something G.I. Joe was definitely needed on his resume.
Steve, I noticed that he gave himself a fancy slide. He did not give you a fancy slide.
Well, I had one, and for some reason, because I normally do, I don't have a slide. I got Google. So
yeah. I share his Google screen, but I guess he figured that he could get away with it because our guest didn't pull up anything. So.
Man,
I see you, Steve. I see you down there.
Be alone, Mike. That's it. That's what this was.
I'm noticing the inequity that's going on in this program.
Do I have no?
It's Agent Chuckles with maybe a little bit of the writing dad Steve.
I've even shortened his name. He's just Steve now.
If I decide to include Steve the writing dad.
Oh gosh.
Steve the dad.
I'm here for you, Steve. I'm here for you.
I appreciate it, man.
So then we've got our plastic profiles checklist, Xing out everyone we've done, and then Beachhead second down, row down on the right. Third from the left is Beachhead. He's got his X, and still lots more to go on these. This goes up to from 82, 83 till 86. And we've done some 87s, but not enough to bring up the whole card yet. So
screw those
we're getting
guys.
there. Yeah. Nobody worth knowing there anyway.
Just ugly Falcon.
Just ugly as Falcon. Yeah.
And Chuckles. You picked the they're terrible characters.
Yeah. Mostly.
But I do notice that you have the champion shirt out today.
Yeah. I like to have little Easter eggs.
Where did you find the champion shirt? Is what I want to know.
Mercari.
All right. Wow. Like you went after the champion shirt.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did a lot of Googling to find that shirt.
That's a deep dig right there. Because that's like I didn't wear mine because frankly I forgot about it. It's kind of in semi-retirement now.
Oh, okay.
There's only a couple more washings left in the champion shirt.
It's so soft.
It's comfortable as hell. Look, there's a reason why that shirt used to come out Tuesday nights. I got a big head, right, and a big neck, so it's got a nice wide shirt, neck hole. So it's just super comfortable.
It really is.
Love that shirt, and it will pain me greatly when it eventually goes out, which is why we don't wear it very often anymore. I'm trying to drag that process out as much as possible. I got my HCC tribute shirt going on today, so
I was really hoping you'd wear it because then I wanted that look of what an idiot. He's got the Mike shirt on.
But at the same time, I figured it was coming. Actually, I was like, I don't want to show up wearing the same shirt because nobody's going to know the backdrop of the gag. So
then we could just go, Steve, where's your champion shirt? Right? Oh, you don't have one?
What's wrong with you, Steve? Steve didn't shop out of the clearance bin on the champion website one night back in God, had to be 10 years ago at this point. That shirt's old, man. That shirt's old.
Yeah, I don't know how I found it, but no, I researched because I was working with the Absorb on his videos.
Right.
And I think he used it in one picture where I'm like punching something.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. And it became a thing where I realized early on when we switched to video about 4 years ago during the pandemic, I realized that like the first couple of weeks, just by chance, I was always wearing that shirt. So then what I started doing was I would only wear it for the show. Like I would take it off after we were done podcasting, hang it up, and it would stay on the hanger until the next week's podcast. I would put it back on. Like it was that out of circulation almost immediately. And then finally, so about 50 episodes in, somebody's like, why is he always wearing that red champion shirt? I was like, we got to give that guy a prize. Finally, somebody said something.
Go ahead. Well, I'm surprised you didn't mention that I wasn't even wearing this when we first started talking before the show. I did the quick uniform change in the middle of the credits.
Right.
That was fun.
I noticed that.
No one noticed.
Nobody cared.
I picked up on it because I was going to say something about his.
Notice a darn thing, bro.
I was going to say something about his regular show T-shirt, and then when I went to do that, I was like, "Oh crap!" He switched over to the champion shirt. I'll have to put that one in the can.
That's why I'm rolling because I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, when did this happen? Like, if you wouldn't have said anything, I would have just been going on like, "All right." Yeah,
right. Like I can't do those kind of quick change wardrobe things on my show. And you'd see me, I'd pop back in, I'd have an elbow stuck out, I'd fall out of my chair. But I'm impressed you're able to pull that off. Just in there, like that's just right in that.
I had it in my lap. I had it in my lap, ready to go when I hit the button for the intro. It was click, hat, glasses. Yeah, there was prep work involved. Yeah. I put a lot of thought into that thing that no one noticed until an hour into it.
So again, I had it, but I just didn't say anything. I didn't give you the satisfaction.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that.
I'm kind of a butt.
Oh, awesome.
It's what we do here, man.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand. I'm a little bit when I'm on What's on Joe Mind when we're doing the show. I'm a little bit constrained simply by having to produce it as we go. I'm sitting there with a whole bunch of buttons on the right-hand side of the screen, and it's live, and so I've got to be at least a little bit connected to that all the time. When I don't have to deal with buttons.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now it's on. now the smart ass from the audio days is back.
Awesome.
I used to be way more off the hook back in the audio days.
Yeah. I've actually listened to those not that long ago. I went back and because as my job as a driver, I'm driving around all the time. So I
Right.
started back at the very beginning, and I'm like, are they talking about football now? What is going
Oh
on?
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'd hear an NFL theme, and I'm like, what is going on? And then
it was fantastic. Like we got to a point where we decided, just as a lark, because we were all football fans. But it came up one night in conversation that despite loving football, I hate fantasy football. Absolutely loathe it. I refuse fantasy football. There's nothing worse to me than being at a bar or being at somebody's house and watching a team that you hate, have something good happen to them, like Dallas goes up 21 on Thanksgiving or something. And then have somebody try and rationalize that off as, well, at least he's on my fantasy team. Your fantasy team. Nobody likes Dallas. You shouldn't be happy about this at all. And so we decided that we would start our own fantasy league, and Gary and Justin love to play fantasy football, and I got to be the commissioner because I hated fantasy football. So anytime we got to the one season I played fantasy football, it was absolutely ruined. I was killing that league, and it got ruined because at the end of the season, the teams in second, third, and fourth place all made trades with one another to create a super team to come and get me. And so that is such bad play. That is so
dirty.
Yeah, just refuse it from then on out. It's like, if it's just that easy to ruin a season that way, then I want nothing else to do with it. And so I got to be the villain commissioner of the What's on Joe Mind Fantasy Football League. And so we would talk about it on the air, right? Because what the one good part of fantasy football is, it's great for smack. Right? You just run shit at one another about fantasy football for weeks. It's still a running joke between Gary Godso and I about Bishop Sankey. He drafted Bishop Sankey, the flop tailback who for the Tennessee Titans. He was a second round pick who played in the league for all of 2 years and accumulated about 400 yards total. But it's still like, that's still an insult I can throw at Gary to this day. It's like, you drafted Bishop Sankey. And then there was 1 week where he had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns and he saved Gary. So after that, he refused to cut him.
Yeah.
So anyways, so we start doing this bit with fantasy football during the show, and we actually were getting some positive response to it. We were getting a whole lot of negative response. Like all the hardcore toy dorks were all like, "Oh, well, we hate the fantasy football." So we met them halfway. We didn't want to stop talking about it, so we branched it off into its own show, and we did our own fantasy football show. It was me and Gary and my friend Jamie, who is another fantasy football enthusiast with a betting problem. And so the three of us did the fantasy football show, and the hardcore toy nerds were upset about that too. Like, it just wasn't allowed to exist on its own.
No, they're just mad at life.
Because they, when they would see there was a new episode, and they would see it was a fantasy football episode, they, rather than just not listen to it, they would complain about it to us instead. And we didn't stop doing it because of that. What happened is, actually it was a more of a medical thing. Jamie ran into some health problems, and that's why we stopped doing the fantasy football show. But it just always, it made me, I loved it because everybody hated it. There was no making anyone happy with the fantasy football show, which is why I loved it. It was awesome. It was the ultimate turning of the screw. I'm kind of a nudge. If I may throw another Long Island term at Steve the Writing Daddy, I'm kind of a nudge.
Well, I thank you. I can't thank you enough for being on the show, Mike from What's on Joe Mind. If you're here and you don't know who they are, I don't know what you're doing, but go watch them. Make sure you like and subscribe to them. If you haven't.
There's a bunch of folks that don't know who we are, and we've been doing it for 13 years. I don't know what the hell's up with that. You people are insane. We don't do stupid clickbaity death of the line bullcrap. We just talk about things that make us laugh, and we have fun doing it.
That's right.
Just like and subscribe down below. I'm sure Agent Chuckles will have our link somewhere in the comments or in the description or something like that. I don't know. I'm not telling him how to do his job. Just type in WOJM in the search bar up in YouTube, and it'll show up for you there too. Just find us and like us and subscribe there, or God help me, I will find every single one of you who watch that and watch this and didn't do that, and I will just sit on your front lawn and act a lot like this for maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then I'll probably go away because it'll be time to go. But I'm serious. Anyways, moving on.
Steven, why don't you talk about what you do?
Okay. Well, just I can't follow that. Go to the writing.
That's why you went next.
You guys watch this, okay? Go to thewritingdad.com. Sign up for the newsletter, man. We talk about being a dad and all the awesomeness and craziness. Come join me. You could also see what's going on with my short stories. See you then. Agent Chuckles.
And I do toy photography now that it's warm outside and I can play outside with my dollies and take pictures and other things, and often repost news as it's broken from other sources. And
once in a while we do that.
Yeah. And I'll put all those links for all of us.
Even better when we do, we don't get online and talk about it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
If we're going to waste 3 hours of your time, we're going to give you like a full show and a half.
That's right. That's right. So thank you for joining us.
Hope
you had as much fun watching as we are having experiencing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that punchy point of the day, and then we've all got problems. Then we all get sued.
So with that, see you next time. Yojo, everybody.
Bye.
Welcome back to Agent Chuckles Wrestling Talk.
Yeah.
Not featuring Agent Chuckles.
33% less Agent Chuckles.
We kick that jabroni off to the side and talk about stuff we like with Steve the Writing Dad.
Oh gosh.